Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 9.
Something I just can't explain.
Love and mercy, that's what you need tonight. Those words, penned by Brian Wilson himself, echoed a lifelong message of compassion and creativity that touched millions. Brian's music lived in the hearts of generations, each harmony a reminder of sun-soaked memories and bittersweet beauty. He passed away peacefully at the age of 82, following years of health challenges. With his loss, the world says goodbye to one of its most imaginative musical storytellers. As the guiding force behind the Beach Boys, Brian didn't just write songs, he created soundscapes that defined an era. Tracks like California Girls, God Only Knows, and I Get Around weren't just hits. They were timeless memories, carefully crafted by a mind that saw beyond the ordinary. His 1966 album, Pet Sounds, set a new standard in pop music, bold, lush, and emotionally honest. It earned Brian praise as one of the most gifted producers of all time. The album inspired countless musicians and continues to be studied, adored, and passed from one generation to the next. He wrote and produced over 200 songs, received 9 Grammy nominations, and won 2. In 2007, he earned the Kennedy Center Honors, a testament to his vast influence. But Brian's true legacy can't be measured in awards. It lived in every layered harmony he imagined, in every lyric that spoke of longing, wonder, and joy. It was in the quiet courage he showed, facing his struggles with grace and honesty. Fellow artists often referred to him as a genius, not only for his musical genius, but for the soul he poured into his work. One longtime collaborator shared, "Being around Brian was like standing in the middle of a song, every moment filled with possibility." Brian's family shared heartfelt words, asking for quiet space to grieve while acknowledging the shared sorrow felt by fans around the world. Love and mercy. He leaves behind a loving family, grateful collaborators and fans who found light in his melodies. His music continues to echo across oceans and through speakers, as vital now as it was decades ago. Brian Wilson's voice may be silent, but the vibrations of his work will never fade. Tributes to Brian Wilson. Number 8. His presence could stop time on stage, a fellow actor once said of Harris Yulin. Whether playing a ruthless figure in Scarface or anchoring a quiet scene in a small theater, his performances had gravity. They pulled you in, every word, every glance, full of purpose. Harris Yulin passed away at the age of 88 from cardiac arrest in New York City. For more than 60 years, he shaped stories on stage and screen with fierce dedication and unmatched artistry. Audiences first glimpsed his power in films like Scarface, where he stood toe-to-toe with Al Pacino, and later in Ghostbusters 2 and Clear and Present Danger. But it wasn't just his film career that drew admiration. He was a force in theater. From his early days on the New York stage to commanding roles in The Diary of Anne Frank and Hedda Gabler, Yulin brought complexity to every character. He didn't just act, he embodied. Television saw his range too, from dramas like Ozark and 24 to his Emmy-nominated role in Frasier. He appeared in more than 100 film and TV productions, each time leaving a distinct mark. Beyond the spotlight, he was a director, mentor, and generous collaborator. His direction of The Trip to Bountiful won multiple Lucille Lortel Awards. Younger actors often spoke of his wisdom, his patience, and the deep respect he had for storytelling. His impact reached far beyond performances. He brought truth to his characters and kindness to his peers. He made every rehearsal feel like a master class, one of his castmates shared. He is survived by his wife Kristen, his family, and many who called him mentor and friend. He was predeceased by his daughter Claire, whom he often credited as his inspiration. Harris Yulin's legacy lives on in the roles he played, the voices he guided, and the lives he quietly changed behind the scenes. His artistry was bold, his presence unforgettable. Tributes to Harris Yulin. Number 7. I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on TV. That single line, spoken by Chris Robinson in a memorable commercial, became a cultural time capsule, but it was only one moment in a remarkable career that spanned more than 6 decades. Chris captured hearts as Dr. Rick Weber on General Hospital, a role that made him a household name. On screen, he brought steady strength and compassion to his characters. Off-screen, he carried that same warmth to everyone around him. He passed away peacefully at 86, at his ranch near Sedona, Arizona, after a period of declining health. Though his voice may be silenced, his legacy continues to echo through the stories he helped tell. Starting as a young actor and stuntman in the 1950s, Chris worked his way through early films and TV guest spots. His breakthrough came with 12 O'Clock High, where he portrayed Sergeant Sandy Komansky, a role that showed his raw talent and versatility. But it was the world of daytime television where Chris truly left his mark. As Dr. Rick Weber on General Hospital, and later as Jack Hamilton on The Bold and the Beautiful, he helped define an era. His characters were layered, human, and deeply loved by fans. Over 100 screen credits followed, including roles on Gunsmoke, The Fugitive, and Death Valley Days. Whether playing heroes or villains, Chris brought depth to every performance. Even late in life, he kept working, with his final screen role in Just for a Week, directed by M.J. Allen. The two had remained close. Allen shared recently, "We knew this was coming, but it always sucks. We just had lunch a few weeks ago, but he was in bad shape." Chris Robinson wasn't just an actor. He was a mentor, a father, and a friend. He inspired fellow performers with his work ethic, and touched audiences with every role. He is survived by his wife Jackie, 6 children, and several grandchildren. His passing is felt across generations, not just because of the characters he played, but because of the kind and genuine soul he was behind the scenes. Tributes to Chris Robinson. Number 6. Let's check it out. That simple phrase, spoken in the calmest of tones, became a lifeline for generations of Oklahomans facing the fiercest storms. Gary England's reassuring voice brought a sense of order in chaos, a feeling of safety in some of nature's most terrifying moments. Gary passed away at 85, peacefully, surrounded by love. While the skies may be quieter, the legacy he leaves behind roars louder than any thunderstorm. Born and raised in Sealing, Oklahoma, his curiosity about weather began early. He served in the U.S. Navy, where that interest grew into a passion. Gary would turn it into a career that changed lives and saved them. Starting in 1972 at KWTV in Oklahoma City, he redefined what weather broadcasting could be. He introduced the first use of Doppler radar to give the public early storm warnings. His innovation, First Warning Bedeuves, put life-saving information directly into people's hands. No one had done it quite like Gary before, and his technology became a national standard. Across 4 decades, Gary was the steady voice during some of the region's most violent storms. His unique tools, steady presence, and focus on protecting people made him not just a household name but part of the family in living rooms across the state. An Emmy winner and Hall of Fame inductee, Gary also appeared in over 50 documentaries and even had a cameo in the film Twister. Yet for all the honors, he stayed grounded, fiercely dedicated to his mission of public safety. Senator James Lankford captured it best. He was our early warning and our calm in the storm. Gary is survived by his dear wife Mary, their daughter Molly, and grandchildren Chloe and Cassidy. To them, and to the countless lives he touched, we extend our deepest sympathy. Though he's gone, his voice, guidance, and legacy remain, etched into Oklahoma's skies and hearts forever. Tributes to Gary, England. Number 5. He was the kindest, funniest man on set. Not a moment went by without Roland making someone laugh, recalled a fellow actor. Roland Kurum, the beloved English actor and author, has passed away at the age of 93 after a short illness. His warmth, humor, and creative spirit left a lasting mark on friends, family, and generations of audiences. He rose to fame alongside Julie Christie in the Oscar-winning film Darling, where his role as a charming travel companion captivated international viewers. TV audiences knew him as Freddie in El Dorado and as the quirky Brian Pilbeam in Terry and June, characters that cemented his place in British entertainment history. Kurum's career spanned over 6 decades and touched nearly every corner of the arts. From classic films like The Admirable Crichton and Dunkirk to the elegance of Madame Susatska, his performances were always rich with charm and skill. In later years, he embraced a new creative path as a novelist, sharing his storytelling gift in a whole new way. Though celebrated for his many roles, it was his generous spirit off-screen that truly defined him. He was a thoughtful mentor, a gracious co-star, and a loving father. Brave and honest, Kurum came out as gay in the early 1990s, a personal milestone that inspired others at a time when few in the public eye did so. He shared over 20 years of marriage with fellow actor Sheila Gish, and together they raised 2 daughters, Lou and Kay. Both followed creative paths, continuing the family's artistic legacy. Lou's passing in 2006 was a profound loss, but Kurum's strength and resilience never faded. Friends from across stage and screen have praised his wit, humility, and the joy he brought to every project. A true gentleman in every sense, one colleague wrote. His career may have ended, but his voice, stories, and generosity live on. Roland Kurum is survived by his daughter Kay. His impact on British culture, both classic and modern, is secure, as are the memories he leaves behind. Tributes to Roland Kurum. Number 4. Thank you, Paul, for your wit and wisdom. We honor your life and legacy. Those heartfelt words from Paula Martinez Nobles, president of Fisher Morance Stone, reflect what so many in the design world feel: the immense gratitude for a man whose light touched countless lives. Paul Morance didn't just design lighting, he transformed how we experience space. His vision shaped everything from the glamour of Studio 54 to the solemn brilliance of the tribute in light. His artistry helped restore Carnegie Hall, bring the Times Square Ball to life, and guide visitors through the heights of the Burj Khalifa. He passed away at 87 after a brief illness, leaving behind not only loved ones but entire skylines that bear the mark of his brilliance. Morance co-founded the lighting design firm Fisher Morance Stone in 1968 with Jules Fisher, building a legacy of creativity and innovation over 5 decades. His works lit up cultural landmarks like Grand Central Terminal, the Islamic Cultural Center of New York, and the Miho Museum in Japan. Each project was more than just a job. It was a story he told through light. He studied at Oberlin College and later pursued graduate work that deepened his blend of artistry and science. He earned recognition from the Illuminating Engineering Society and the International Association of Lighting Designers. Critics and architects, including I.M. Pei, respected his unmatched talent. Herbert Muschamp once called him a lighting genius. But beyond the awards and high-profile projects, Paul was known for his warmth, humor, and curiosity. Colleagues described him as a true mentor, always exploring, always teaching, always finding new ways to inspire. Even simple materials came alive in his hands. He saw magic in every beam and shadow, and helped others see it too. His collaborative spirit turned complex problems into shared triumphs. As tributes continue to pour in from around the world, one thing is clear: Paul Morance didn't just design environments, he elevated them, and in doing so, illuminated part of the human experience. He is survived by his family and the global community of designers he guided. His light lives on in every glowing corridor, every shining skyline, and every eye that's ever been lifted in awe. Tributes to Paul Morance. Number 3. They don't make them like Dick Beatty anymore. That's how one colleague summed up Richard the Stir Beatty, a man whose steady guidance helped shape the modern landscape of business law. At 85, Richard passed away peacefully after a brief illness. The world lost not just a brilliant legal mind but a leader who believed in doing the right thing even when it wasn't easy. Before rising to the top of the legal world, Richard served 4 years as a Marine Corps pilot. That sense of duty never left him. He brought dedication, courage, and fairness into every room he entered, from boardrooms to the halls of government. His career at Simpson Thacher and Bartlett spanned over 50 years. As senior chairman and former head of the executive committee, he mentored generations of lawyers and helped define what excellence looks like in corporate law. He played key roles in landmark deals, including the RJR Nabisco acquisition, the JP Morgan Chase and Bank One merger, and the historic union of AOL and Time Warner. Richard was also called to public service, where he served as general counsel for the U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. He later advised the Secretary of Education. His leadership always reflected a deep concern for the public good. But it wasn't just the headlines that defined Dick Beatty. It was his loyalty, humility, and generosity. Former Mayor Ed Koch once said, "The guy to have in your corner is Dick Beatty." That loyalty extended beyond colleagues to everyone who knew him. He was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. Despite the complex deals and busy schedule, he always made time for what mattered most. Simpson Thacher said it best. His storied work created lasting opportunities for generations of attorneys. His influence stretched far beyond the courtroom. His fingerprints remain on the very fabric of modern corporate law. Friends, colleagues, and leaders from across industries have shared their love and admiration, remembering him not only as an unmatched professional but as a guiding light. Richard the Stir Beatty leaves behind a legacy built on purpose, perseverance, and principle. Tributes to Richard Beatty. Number 2, Doug Scaff Jr. had a way of making every room brighter, not just with his ever-present smile, but with his unshakable purpose. He was a man of action, not just words. Whether in the halls of government or the offices of a newsroom, Doug led with heart and humility. At 48, Doug's life was cut short in a tragic car accident, but his impact will be felt for generations. Raised in Kanawha County, he poured his passion into serving the state he loved. His journey in public office spanned over a decade, where he represented multiple districts in the West Virginia House of Delegates. As House Minority Leader, he built bridges between people and ideas, always putting West Virginians first. Beyond the Capitol, Doug became president of HD Media, guiding local journalism when it was needed most. Leading titles like the Charleston Gazette-Mail, he championed truth and accountability, never shying away from tough conversations. Doug didn't just lead, he gave back. He helped launch West Virginia Kids Cancer Crusaders, coached youth sports, and served on boards from West Virginia University to the local Chamber of Commerce. No title mattered more to him than Dad. His love for his family shaped everything he did. Throughout his career, he was honored for his service, including receiving the Outstanding Young Alumni Award from WVU. Yet what meant more to Doug were the friends he made, the lives he touched, and the future he helped shape. Governor Patrick Morrissey said it well. Doug Scaff was omnipresent in the Charleston community. He will be greatly missed by many. And from Rep. Riley Moore came this heartfelt tribute. Doug Scaff, my good friend, was a West Virginian through and through. Doug loved our state and our people. He leaves behind his loving wife, Marissa, their 3 sons, and a community still in shock over his passing. Words will never fully capture all he gave. But those who knew him know. Doug Scaff Jr. lived with purpose, laughed often, and loved deeply. We say goodbye to a man who gave his all, to his family, to his state, and to everyone fortunate enough to call him a friend. Tributes to Doug Scaff Jr. What's trending on the internet? News 1. What a touching moment for fans of classic television and heartfelt family bonds. Jason Sudeikis, the beloved star of Ted Lasso, recently opened up about the passing of his uncle, George Wendt, who was best known for playing Norm on the iconic sitcom Cheers. George passed away peacefully at his home at the age of 76, surrounded by loved ones. Jason paid tribute to his uncle during a special event in Kansas City, remembering George not just as a TV legend, but as a warm, adventurous, and caring family man. He shared a fond childhood memory of an exhilarating car ride with George, a time when seatbelts weren't yet required and laughter filled the back seat. Jason spoke of how his uncle inspired him, showing that dreams from the Midwest could shine on the world stage if you followed your passions and treated people with genuine kindness. George Wendt is survived by his wife and 3 children, and will be remembered not only for his unforgettable role on Cheers, but for the warmth, humor, and encouragement he shared with his family and countless fans. As Jason so beautifully expressed, George's legacy is one of joy, connection, and inspiring others to reach for their dreams, a legacy that will always be cherished. News 2. If you followed YouTube and gaming streams, you may know Philip Anowali, better known online as P2I's The Name. At just 26 years old, Philip built a warm and enthusiastic community through his vlogs, NBA 2K and Fortnite gameplay, and behind-the-scenes videos about his clothing brand and close friendships. Sadly, Philip recently passed away in Los Angeles due to a rare heart condition that led to sudden cardiac dysfunction. While the gaming world and his many fans are mourning this loss, Philip's generosity, inspiration, and positive spirit are being remembered and celebrated across the internet. As friends and followers pay tribute, they recall not only his great gaming skills but also his kindness, encouragement, and creativity. Philip's legacy will live on in the vibrant community he built and the joy he brought to so many. News 3. Cher is sharing a heartfelt tribute to her beloved mother, Georgia Holt, as she would have turned 98 this June. Born Jackie Jean Crouch in 1926 in Kensett, Arkansas, Georgia came from humble beginnings but grew into a woman of remarkable talent and resilience. Many remember Georgia as a singer, a beauty queen, and an actress. In fact, she sang with Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys at age 10 and had several roles in classic films during the 1950s. But above all, she was best known as the devoted mother of Cher and Jorgan Lapierre. Throughout her life, Georgia inspired her daughters with her strength, determination, and warmth, never letting hard times dampen her spirit. She even released her own country album, Honky Tonk Woman, later in life and shared the spotlight with Cher in a touching documentary that celebrated their special bond. Though Georgia passed away in December 2022, Cher continues to honor her memory with love, gratitude, and moving tributes. Today, fans across generations remember Georgia Holt not just for her talents, but for the joy and encouragement she brought to her family and everyone who knew her story. Her legacy lives on through her children, her music, and the example she set of unwavering love. News 4. Imagine discovering a treasure chest of memories in your own family. Well, that's just what Julia Bartles did when she found her grandmother, Georgie's decades-old fashion sketches tucked away during the pandemic. Georgie, who put aside her dreams of being a designer to raise her family, never stopped dreaming in fabric and color. Inspired, Julia began recreating those beautiful sketches herself, sharing each stunning outfit online. In no time, their story touched hearts around the world, making both granddaughter and grandmother internet sensations. Julia recently shared the bittersweet news that her beloved grandma Georgie has passed away. In her heartfelt message, Julia thanked everyone whose encouragement brought joy, excitement, and fulfillment to Georgie's final years. What started as a quiet family project blossomed into something truly special, reminding us all that it's never too late for dreams to shine and legacies to inspire. Today we celebrate Georgie's remarkable creativity and the bond she shared with Julia. The world saw her as Julia always did, a true superstar. We'll remember Georgie every time we see courage, style, and love passed down through generations. News 5. What a life Sly Stone lived. The trailblazing musician behind Sly and the Family Stone has passed away at the age of 82, after a long and private battle with COPD and other health issues. Born Sylvester Stewart in Denton, Texas, Sly's musical journey began in the church choir with his siblings and soared to legendary status as he brought people together through unforgettable hits like Dance to the Music, Everyday People, and Thank You, Falatin mi be myself again. Known for blending gospel, funk, and rock in a way that changed American music forever, Sly's influence reached far beyond the stage, inspiring generations with his messages of unity and love. In his last moments, Sly was surrounded by his 3 children, his dearest friend, and family. A peaceful farewell for a man whose life was anything but ordinary. Sly once said he wanted to be remembered simply for his music, and what a remarkable gift he left us. As we reflect on his legacy, we're reminded to cherish the joy, energy, and harmony he shared with the world. Sly's spirit will keep on inspiring and uplifting, just the way he always hoped, with music, just music. Number 1. Art begins where weapons end, Gunther Uker once said, a belief he carried in every nail he struck. The world has lost a visionary. At 95, Gunther Uker passed away peacefully at a hospital in Düsseldorf, the city that shaped much of his life and work. His family confirmed his passing, though no cause of death was shared. Born in a quiet Baltic village, Uker endured the scars of war and emerged as a force of peace through creation. He chose nails not for destruction, but for transformation. Thousands of them hammered into canvas, chairs, and even walls. These weren't sculptures. They were meditations on light, healing, memory. Far more than just nails, his works moved. Spinning discs, vibrating surfaces, and electric light gave his art a pulse. A member of the Zero group, alongside Heinz Mack and Otto Piene, he championed a new kind of art, one rooted in silence, purity, and rhythm. Together they changed how post-war Europe saw itself. Uker didn't shy away from bold gestures. He once rode a camel into an art school. He helped stage a symbolic occupation of a museum with Gerhard Richter. But behind these actions was always a quiet resolve: to protect, to renew, to feel. His works live in major museums across the globe, from New York's MoMA to the National Gallery in Washington. Yet it was in his classroom, as a teacher at the Dusseldorf Academy, where many say his influence was deepest. Generations of artists credit him with teaching not just how to make art, but why. Colleague and contemporary Gerhard Richter once said, "Uker does not speak loudly, but his work echoes louder than any of us." Gunther Uker leaves behind his family, students, and a world forever changed by his vision. Though funeral plans have not been shared, the legacy he crafted with nails and light remains. A poet of materials, a builder of silence, a seeker of truth, Uker showed us that beauty can rise from ruins. Tributes to Gunther Uker. "You really had to be there," a phrase countless fans use when talking about Bonnaroo. For Jonathan Mayers, co-founder of that iconic festival, creating unforgettable moments was more than a mission. It was who he was.